Hi, everyone. My name is Joe Ramson. I'm excited to be in AEC 6980 with you all this summer. I'm sorry I was unable to present live last week. We're wrapping up our school year here at Staples Motley Schools, and I'm a teacher, so I'm unable to join during the class time as of now, but in a few weeks we'll be in summer and I'll be able to hop onto the Zoom and meet you all very soon. But I'm excited to share a little bit of an overview of my quantitative and qualitative projects that are going to be done as part of this class. It is not technically a mixed method study. There is a quantitative study in the beginning and then an independent qualitative study at the end. Hopefully we'll have two articles published as a result, both of which will follow the 5-chapter format. So at this point, my research project is focusing on the idea of teachers' integration of competition within their classroom environment. Now, there is not a whole lot of research that's been done looking at competition within an agricultural education classroom setting. As we know, agricultural education has a lot of cool and unique opportunities that other areas in the education system do not. For instance, FFA and career technical student organizations are present in the agricultural education world and not, for instance, in math. So there's some opportunity that exists for teachers to integrate competition a little bit more seamlessly into their curriculum in an agricultural education setting, despite having more preps or more classes to prepare for as a teacher. We don't know a whole lot about how competition works in an agricultural education setting at this point, which makes this research pretty exciting for me to be conducting. Pedagogical design capacity and pedagogical content knowledge are two theoretical frameworks that have been designed by Matthew Brown that kind of explain a teacher's ability to design and innovate curriculum kind of on the fly, and that's the PDC, which is that first bullet point, and PCK looks at how much information a teacher knows about a specific content area. The aim of the study is to kind of look and see, is there a connection between a teacher's PDC and PCK with their ability to implement competition within their classroom? We also know that competition does have some impacts, both positive and negative, in a classroom learning environment. For instance, we know that competition may drive certain populations of students away from engaging in the curriculum. If things are getting too competitive, especially for female students, they're going to be a little bit less likely to engage in the curriculum than male students. On the flip side, competition can bring out the desire to do good and perform and try to beat or win some different events within the classroom. But that also, on the flip side too, can make some students a little bit uncomfortable or shy at times. So the knowledge gap that we currently have and the need for this research is we want to see if there is an opportunity to connect PCK and PDC with competitive elements that are naturally derived from FFA programming. The diagram on the right hand of the screen does a nice job explaining how the instructional resources and the teacher resources that are available can influence a teacher's pedagogical design capacity and their ability to innovate curriculum that meets the needs of their learners. So the overall problem that we have with this research and what we're trying to discover is, with all the demands that come with teaching agricultural education, educators must be strategic in providing and maximizing instructional value while also facilitating career readiness opportunities for students in their classes, SAE, or supervised agriculture experience, and FFA programming. It can be very intimidating for a young agriculture teacher like myself to step into a program that's been established for 30 or more years and be expected to do all of the things that come with agricultural education. So if teachers can find ways to strategically implement FFA activities within their classes in a way that fits and modify those resources to meet the needs of their students, that could potentially have positive impacts not only on teacher retention, but also on student learning outcomes. Nationally, there are a lot of research priorities within agricultural education. The first is preparing and supporting AF&R teachers. If this research uncovers some specific patterns or trends within agricultural education, potentially we can utilize this resource as a way to advance that priority. Second, teacher retention and burnout. If we can find ways to maximize student learning opportunities, while also kind of quote unquote killing two birds with one stone and helping teachers prepare FFA students in their classes. That could also lead to some additional research and opportunities to discuss teacher retention and burnout, because they're going to be able to kind of tackle two areas of this three-circle model in tandem with one another. And third, the three-component model of agricultural education is something that a lot of programs around the United States really hold true to. And there's a lot of research being done about what does an effective agricultural education program look like or feel like. And by advancing this study, hopefully we can maybe find some connections between the FFA and the classroom instruction components. The purpose of this study is to evaluate the extent to which AFNR teachers implement competition within their classrooms. The three objectives are simply to determine the types of competition facilitated within Minnesota A classes. What does that look like? Are they online? Are they in person? Are they going to be individual in nature, group in nature, team settings, so on and so forth? Number two, determining when competition is occurring in Minnesota agriculture classes. Is happening at the beginning of the unit, at the end of the unit, throughout a whole course. And also determining how much competition is occurring in Minnesota A classrooms. Is this happening on a routine basis, or is it something that a teacher just implements once in a while when they feel like it? Um, for the qualitative study, we are looking at what relationships exist between a teacher's integration of competitive elements and curricular decision making. So again, we're going to have this quantitative study first and the qualitative study following it up later. So to break down a little bit more about what this looks like, the quantitative phase, the source of data collection is going to be an instrument that's going to be comprised of a variety of multiple choice and Likert items that agriculture education teachers are going to be completing at the Minnesota Association of Ag Educators, or MAAE, conference in July of 2022. And to analyze the results, we're going to use basic statistics or descriptive statistics, excuse me, and some t-tests to figure out if there's any statistical significance between the findings. After we've collected the quantitative data in July 2022, we are going to go ahead and select 5 to 7 participants and invite them to a qualitative phase. And what's going to happen here is these individuals are going to be selected on the basis of their ability to implement competition in the classroom. So we're going to be looking for people who actually do implement competition, hopefully on a regular basis. We'll go to their school in a setting that's familiar to them. We'll interview them. We'll observe them teaching a class session or two, and ask them to submit any artifacts of competition that they've implemented in their classroom successfully. Again, the data will be collected at school visits, and we will analyze the data through transcribed recordings, coding, and theme development. So the big question, why is this relevant and important to me? Well, first, I enjoy event and competition in my ag classes, and I think a large part of that is because my ag teachers did that when I was in agriculture classes in high school, and I really enjoyed the competitive element, and I'm excited to dig into that and see how teachers use competition in their classroom. Number two, stratatasking is the word that I kind of came up with. And that saved me a lot as an early career teacher in delivering the 3-component model. Now, I don't like to do multitasking because that can actually lead into a decline in productivity. But by strategically tasking and pairing things together, like for instance, knowing that I'm probably going to have kids that are very interested in veterinary science in my veterinary science class, I can probably integrate some of those elements from the veterinary science career development event in my class through teaching the identification skills that the students who do the vet science CDE are going to have to learn to not only improve the curriculum of my class, but also hopefully train a few of those kids who might be interested in taking that next step forward and be extrinsically motivated to participate in an FFA event and help and prepare them to be successful right in my classes. And third, I want to help other teachers be successful in all areas of the 3-component model. FFA made a huge impact in my life as a student, so did my SAE project and my classroom experiences. So I want to provide a resource and a tool and hopefully some findings that are going to help other ag teachers strata-task, if you will, so that they can have some successful agriculture education students as well. So thank you very much for listening to my pitch. If you have any questions or want to learn a little bit more about my study, please feel free to shoot me an email. I look forward to hearing more about your studies throughout the semester, and I look forward to being in this class with you all. Thanks so much and have a great rest of your day.